one.
So there were 5 Sams on the station.
Okay.
There weren't 5 Sams on the station. There were
So-
7 lights lit up in the basement.
Hello, everybody. We're back.
Well, I'm not talking about lights in the basement. I'm talking about Sams.
I don't have to. Instructions will be followed, or the school teacher will be punished.
Spoilers, sweeties.
So, Sean and Meg are here. That's the camera up that way.
Oh, hello.
They showed up right after we signed off for the pre-show. So, Meg was just saying that this did not necessarily help the rough day she had because there was some dark elements to it. But I can see now why people do draw a comparison between this one and Arrival as far as important science fiction is concerned.
It's a mind trip.
It's very cerebral.
Very, very cerebral. I'm left.
I would have said surreal, but sure.
I'm left with some questions. The visions he was having.
What was that?
They never got into that.
They never explained the tooth loss or the blood.
That is it.
Either. I'm assuming that's radiation poisoning.
Well, I was thinking that the clones only live for 3 years.
Yeah,
it showed the
shelf life.
Yeah.
That when you watch those videos from the previous ones, they were all getting sick and everything, and then they get into that incinerator.
Yeah, that's just that one is it's a 3-year shelf life on the clone.
It could be. It could be due to. I guess I could see that.
All
It
the
could be due
symptoms
to.
they showed the other clones having were due to radiation poisoning.
I'm not saying radiation poisoning isn't the cause.
It could be the cause of the 3-year shelf life.
But we're assuming that the 3-year shelf life is also part of that.
Or just that's how long a human could survive in those conditions.
Right.
Possibly.
So once again, just you probably should have said this at the beginning, but we do talk about the movie, so you should assume spoilers. But the visions. If I were to go back, I almost want to go back and watch again that very first part because it looked like those were his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking. The brunette in the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is very similar to
I
Actually,
figured that was Eve.
My thought is that might be one of the doctors who had a hand in the creation of the clones.
I don't know.
Well, we never see her or the daughter with enough detail to make it, I think, an accurate comparison. It's like it could be, maybe. That's my best guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's the daughter, and I think it begs the
that
question
was my
of
thought.
there's something else that was involved in this.
I was assuming it was part of the breakdown of the clone is that you start to see things, you get a little trippy.
It doesn't necessarily have to be anyone. It could have just been, something that couldn't have been there. So it was clearly, something that distracted him. It could have just been his mind just going off in weird directions.
He saw the clone, or he saw the image in the thing, and then later saw another image that sort of looked like a.
I thought it was the same one. The one outside and the one in the chair.
Where they caused him the crash.
Yeah.
As I joked, you're supposed to drive into the harvester, not into the harvester.
I thought it was very interesting that shows you think Gertie's going to be sinister, but it ends up being the anti-Hal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Like he decides he's going to help, even though it's completely against what the company would want. So I thought that was interesting.
Well, I feel like, I'm sorry, I was going to say, I feel like because of Hal, and then also because of, what's his name from Alien, I feel like that artificial, Bishop, no,
Bishop.
Was it from the first one?
Yeah,
No.
Okay.
Bishop was the second movie.
Oh.
The first one was, started with an A, so.
Right, but anyway, I just thought, the evil AI who represents the company has kind of been done. It would have been,
So there's a nice flip on that.
Yeah.
You were saying, Ross?
So there is one science nitpick. I mean, I enjoyed the movie, so get that out in the front. But there is a science nitpick that watching this a second time really kind of struck me more because we had the conversation about science. And that is I never felt like he was on the moon in terms of gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Never once did he seem like he was walking around in moon gravity or doing things in moon gravity.
Except when he's outside.
After he dropped him off, he did his little moon dance, which I thought was kind of rude.
I agree with the gravity thing, but it's really hard to film that.
Listen, it's a nitpick. I mean, I acknowledge that it's a nitpick, but that is one thing on with the conversation we had in mind watching it. I was like, that is totally not on the moon.
Yeah, that's the one thing that did bug me was the gravity in the space station. They did okay with him moving in the spacesuit, and when he picked up the guy, he had no problem picking him up, and he dropped him off.
It's probably the factor of the budget of the film and everything. But,
and the spinning out the rocks out of the back of the miner, the way they were slowly cascading down was actually pretty cool. So.
Also, like when he was jumping rope, like that was in
Way too fast.
1/6 of Earth gravity. That would have been.
You would have seen the lift.
Yeah.
That was what I'm talking about.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Interesting.
Like,
Very
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, they definitely
The rest of the
suppose artificial
science.
gravity inside the thing somehow. Yeah, that was really interesting. I mean, it was definitely a very serious turn for Rockwell.
Oh, he really nailed it by the performances.
No dancing
Stunning.
and not a bad guy.
In
Who
my-
was this?
In
I
my-
beg to differ. When he dropped off Sam Bell to die in the thing, that was not anti-gravity. That was a moon dance. He was happy that he was not going to be the one to die. His little dance was happy dance, not just an anti-gravity dance.
But I think I've
That's
seen
my opinion.
the performance
I
is
didn't see
stunning
that.
on his behalf. Is what I'm saying. I think he did a great job as an actor in the role, in the multiple roles because he had to act, opposite himself.
Mhm.
The first part of it was so surreal. The way they were having a hard time even dealing with each other, talking to each other. To me, I was like, I'd write all the arguments. So who? What the hell? What? Come on, we got to talk about this. We got to work this out.
Yeah.
I just don't want to.
Well,
Yeah,
get
the fact they just ignored each other for the first little bit.
Actually, I can kind of get
Weird.
it at least on the behalf of Sam 1 because or
Well,
Sam 5.
Sam 5.
Yeah, whichever Sam it is. Although the subtitles call them Sam 1 and Sam 2,
Mhm.
so there's that. But Sam 1/5, he only had 2 weeks left, and there would be a temptation to be like, I'm seeing some shit, and I'm just gonna whatever, 14 days, I'll be home.
I thought it was really interesting the way they handled it too, and I kind of got the impression that they must have known that cloning was a technology that existed, and so probably that was the first thing that actually entered
That
their
was
mind.
a very
Is,
default way he said it, right?
Yeah.
He just threw out the word clone.
Right.
It was no big deal.
so I think that the first time they saw it, they were like, "Oh shit, there's cloning going on here," and then they just kind of didn't want to actually address it because they both were sort of resisting the idea that they were clones.
One of them was a clone.
The whole thing was like, what I found interesting was Sam 1 being so mellow and Sam 2 being so aggressive. It seemed like Tess sent Sam, whichever, out there as like a timeout to like, you need to mellow your shit out.
Mhm.
And so it was that I found that an interesting dynamic between the two of them acting against each other, where the one is mellow while the other one's like beating the
And
shit out
Bernie
of him.
did say that you have changed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Sam said it to Sam too. It said
As
in the book there.
a side note, the director Duncan Jones, as it turns out, Gareth Skark actually pinged me to say, "Hey, we make sure to tweet about this to @ and I can't remember that man-made moon, something." So I did just as a fun thing. Apparently, Duncan Jones is a gamer. Like recently,
What?
he was like posting up his collection
Awesome.
of Shadowrun stuff and. So he's very avidly, openly a gamer and stuff like that. So another one of our own, so to speak, who
That's awesome.
did all right with this. So I wanted to throw that out there. So anyway,
Well, I'm going to say one more. One
well, I
or
was
two
going to
more
do.
things.
Okay, go ahead. I was going to do the round robin
And
too.
then, well, I'll go first, and then I'll be done.
Okay, so we're going around robin, starting with Ross.
In my opinion, Moon is a very good film. I would, I think a few minor things hold it back. For me, and this is just for me, the pacing is really, really slow. Like, this is a 97-minute movie that could probably be more like 80 minutes. Just saying. But, the story it has to tell is not a frenetic action-based story, and I get that. So yeah, it's a really great movie. I do highly recommend it for anybody who's a fan of Sam Rockwell and who enjoys a more cerebral tale. Done.
Carinn, from off camera, thoughts?
We need to have another rating option for movies from the Sean Ain't Seen This Yet theater category. The hell did I just watch?
You can add that in for this one.
Yeah,
Um,
because seriously surreal.
yeah, originally I was going to hold the polling system to that you just have to use the thing, but screw it. People can put new ones in if they want. Fred!
We need to show Carinn Sucker Punch.
Oh, yeah, you want the hell out
No,
of
I've
this.
seen that. I'll pass. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I
Love
This is
Sucker Punch.
I
this
want
is
you-
an experience that does not need to be repeated.
want a movie that just
I'm
takes
just saying,
the
surreal
vignettes
is.
and pulls them out to watch. I don't want to watch the actual movie. I just want to watch the vignettes.
Yeah, the vignette.
Yeah, one that is what the ads made you think you were gonna watch.
So, Fred's turn.
Really enjoyed it. Would suggest it for just about anyone. Weird math thing at the end with the number of clones doesn't make sense.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. His daughter is 15, roughly, and we have 3 clones die in 3-year batches. That's we're assuming from the movie. So you're talking 5 clones. All right. Then they wake up Sam 6 early because Sam 5 has an accident. Then they wake up Sam 7 before Sam 6 goes back to Earth.
Mhm.
7 clones.
But the problem being is they went down into the pit before they woke up that last clone, and there were 7 lit containers with the different lights on it.
Maybe one of them went back.
So there could
Yeah,
have
we
been
don't know
accidents
whether
that-
it was the lit ones or the unlit ones that were.
Actually, we did because they opened an. They were lit with red. They opened one that was lit with white. It had Sam. They woke up later and they shut that one, and he was still lit with white. All the rest of them that were used were lit with red.
It is
But we
Moon,
get to see the entirety of the bay.
Moon 2, Bad Clone Rising.
Yeah, just.
7 clones
I
make
totally
sense.
said that. I totally said that.
But then the one who went to Earth would be clone number 7.
No, he'd be 6 because they woke up 7 right before he left.
There were 7 lit up before they left.
I
Before they went down.
I don't care how many lights were on. I'm telling you, there were 7 clones from what we saw in the film.
You know, the more you talk about this, the more I realize this movie was shit. How many goddamn clones were there? If we don't know that, then we don't know anything. This movie's garbage.
I
Actually,
think you're
not
right
knowing
about
that is kind of,
No.
I think,
My day job as a math
important
teacher is
thing.
just one of those things that bugs me.
Pedantry abides, Meg.
Yes.
I know what you said at first, but any other thoughts for the movie?
That was just some crazy shit.
Just some crazy shit. Can I quote you on that one? Well, you've been quoted to the internet.
For what it is.
Crazy
It
shit.
is
Sean.
what it is.
We'll get you that t-shirt.
I think it's great. I think it's really impressive. It shows what you can do on a really low budget. When you've got a story that's more cerebral, I think cerebral is a good word for it. You don't necessarily have to spend a whole bunch of money on effects. So I thought it was great. I would say that it is the pacing is very deliberate, but I feel like that kind of helps you feel the weight of the 3-year isolation that these guys go through. I think it adds to that sort of feeling of loneliness and tedium, but in a good way. I think it works in the movie's favor.
also gives the visceral feeling of the slow moving that the lessened gravity would impart.
I understand Ross's point. I tend to like frenetic movies. I tend to like faster movies. This one absolutely wasn't that, but I think necessarily not. I think an argument can be made that you could have cut it a little bit, but I was okay with it for the pacing that it was. This is one of those movies I'm really glad I watched. We got this one through Amazon and did the rent versus the buy. I'm kind of glad because I don't know how many more times in my life I would watch this movie. It's one of those you experience it once and kind of have it in there. It was exceptionally well done. I'm really, really glad we live in an era where movies like this can be made and do really, really well. Because this got a lot of attention, and I think rightfully so. What were we going to say, Ross?
Well, you think the title is a reference to the lunar surface, but it's actually a reference to the first shower scene. Just saying.
That's true. We did get extensive Sam Rockwell ass, and I will give him a total Buns of Steel thumb up on that one. So that was well done on that. Anyway, so that was our Eagle Beagle Movie Club post show for Moon.
Where's that thumb going?
I don't. These are bad people. I'm surrounded by bad people. Thank y'all for joining us, and I'm going to sign this one off and look forward to chatting with people in the Eagle Beagle Movie Club Facebook group. I'll try to get the rating thing up tonight, and next time we'll start talking about the movie. And also, at some point tonight, I will decide what next week's movie is going to be, because that's usually what I do, is sometime on Wednesday night before I go to bed,
Didn't you
I figure out...
Just that Spawn was going to volunteer her Miyazaki's.
Yes, one of the things that's entering the lists, as it were, are the Miyazaki anime,
I've
so
not seen.
I think one of those may actually be our
That
next.
was one of the ones that she
Our
got.
next picks. So we'll be talking about that. We'll have a chat here, and then you guys can wait and find out later. On that note, I'm going to say peace and
Well, if
good
you
night.
think, it's actually, if
Happy New Year!
they have an idea of what we should watch next, they should leave a comment in the video.
Oh yeah, if you have suggestions are welcome. Yes.
But out of all the movies, I can.